Oh my gosh. Right when we want to start.
Literally, like, right this second. Are you going to be able to hear him?
Probably so. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast. I've got to wake up. I am like in a daze and a haze. Whew! Episode 60, my brother and duo podcast.
I'm not your sister.
Everything goes.
You said the brother and duo.
Brother and sister duo. See, I told you I'm
not
not
a
awake.
sister of yours. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this week we've got some dudes outside blowing off stuff or something, but so if y'all hear that in the background, I apologize. But this week we have a very special guest. If you missed last week, be sure to check it out. Corey from Britany's side of the better half.
Brittany's husband. You really do need to wake up, babe. You need to really wake up. Where's that caffeinated beverage? You want to
I'll go get it in a second when I have to redo this camera. But no, we have my wife on this week. We're getting to know our spouses and answering some of your questions. So introduce yourself. Who are you? How are you? And what's your blood type?
Actually, my blood type is A positive because I'm always an A plus. But that's true. Like, that's seriously actually true.
I was like, dang,
that's how
good.
I remember it. No, that's how I remember it because I'm always A plus. But yeah, I'm checking on the kids. I'm basically Gaines and Brooks's mom, and also Cullen's wife.
My mom too.
And Cullen's mom. So when it says "Don't tell mom," he's really talking about me most of the time. But no, I'm Katie, and we've been married for 12 years. Look, I got that right off the bat.
You did.
Remembered. That's because our anniversary is on the 12th, and we were married for 12 years. And yeah, we, I don't know. What do you want me to say? They know me. They know you. I mean, they don't know me. They know you.
But if y'all are from just Don't Tell Mom specifically, they may not know you. But yeah, you've got your own channel too on this platform called YouTube. And if y'all are listening, be sure to watch. We're not in the studio. We are at
an undisclosed location.
The Boodio.
Oh my god.
Where the magic happens in this bedroom. And that probably just answered like half the questions.
Yeah.
So we can just skip over all those.
Yes, there you go.
But
no, I'm not answering those questions. If you would like to know more about my personal life, my channel is called Katie on the Flip Side, and you can go check out my videos there. It's been summertime. The kids have been home from school, and so I haven't put out a ton of content this summer, but I have a bunch of stuff about our life-changing year we've had, basically my life-changing stuff that's been going on.
Yes.
It's all there. So Cullen's been going through life changes. If y'all been following along on their podcast, I've been dealing with my own stuff. So there you go.
It's funny how when we were setting up this podcast studio real quick here, you're like, don't you feel like you're making another baby update? And like, that's kind of what it feels like. I feel like I look at the camera more when I'm with you versus knowing I'm on a podcast. I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm doing a baby update sitting here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like, used to hold the cantaloupe not open, but hold it up to your belly. And
I think it's interesting that you even look at the camera, because I feel like when you're filming a podcast, you would like, it's like you're talking to the people, not, I don't know. I don't think about the camera as much when it's the podcast, because it's not a video thing as much as it's audio.
You need to get on a podcast.
Me?
Yeah.
Like make one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you handle that for me?
Yeah.
Can you line that up and do that? I really would like to, honestly. I feel like I would put out more content if it was just podcasts.
Just podcast, no video.
Like just podcast, no video, because then I wouldn't have to have my hair and makeup done, which I don't always anyway, but I'm also like a really slow editor, and I have taught myself to edit in the past year, but not nearly what Cullen does with his.
You have picked it up pretty well. Started
I
on
did
iMovie and then moved over to Final Cut when you were like, oh, I can do that like that, and I can type text like that quick. Oh my goodness. I'm like, yeah.
And then the kids got out of school, and all my entire job related goals went down the hill. Like, am I the only person that it's like summertime and everything goes to crap? Like, I've not eaten as well as I was previously. I haven't been exercising. I haven't been like staying on top of job stuff. Like, I just don't do well if there's not a routine.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Like, if there's not, okay, I know the kids are going to school at this time. I know I have this amount of time to do this. I just don't do it.
It has been routineless.
I feel like that, but then I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's selling the house.
We've also been like having to be in somewhat of routine, or a checklist routine, I guess, of doing stuff on the paper, because we have to get we got to get
jobs
this done,
and
we got to
stuff.
get that done, we got to get this done.
I guess the house has kind
for
of
the
taken
house selling.
over me, the time I was spending on my channel and like making my content. So I haven't, like, the house selling has used up that amount of time because the kids were in school some this summer. I mean, it's not like they totally weren't, you know.
And we're gonna get to y'all's questions in a minute, but
sorry,
this was like we just got back from vacation. If y'all missed those videos, go check them out on the Cullen and Katie channel. We had a blast over there, and then Britany's actually on vacation now. And so it worked out well to flip-flop and do our episodes 59 and 60 like this. But I was just thinking when we walked back into the house after vacation and how now that our house has been on the market and we've gotten all the checklists done, how nice it was to come back in and like know where everything was going. Like I think it was the first time in history that we've both been unpacked the same night we got home.
Yeah, and the kids. I had the kids' bags unpacked, and not just our suitcases, but like the bags, like all the bags of crap that you take with you to the beach. You know, like the beach bag, the bag of toys, the bag of food, the bag of like dog stuff, everything.
It was
unpacked.
So nice and so easy to come into.
I actually said some of that in the vlog that you haven't edited yet,
oh, really?
So you'll see that when you get to it. But I talked about how it was like. Then the next day, I was able to, instead of feeling overwhelmed with needing to unpack and having to waste time doing that, I was able to go buy groceries and get the car washed and, you know, do all that stuff.
And then you're just like folding laundry and like catching up on that stuff that needs to be done.
Jump right back in.
It's crazy. It feels weird not having a checklist of duties for the house. You know, it's like, God, although I'm sure there is stuff. No,
since I've been taking care of it, I'm like, wait, I'm still doing all that.
I'm talking about like touching up the walls and stuff like that, stuff that we've already done.
I see what you're saying. Like we've got the paint touch-ups, and the sand this down and replace this light bulb and all that.
For the house selling process, like that took up so much of my mental capacity.
Yeah, capacity.
But now it's just like, okay. Now what? Now we just sit back and wait. And speaking of waiting, we're having to wait even longer because school started back, like you said, and so people aren't as interested in.
Were there a bunch of people that asked about the house? Like I imagine.
I'm sure. Yeah. Let's get into some of these questions here.
When are you getting a haircut?
Hey, if you're watching, I already got one.
Got one.
Got it the other day. I did need one. Although editing some of these beach vlogs, I was like, God, I missed the. I just heard Ada Bell.
We got a kid that's probably about to wake up.
I missed the
come on in here,
windblown or beach hair. Like it was getting on my nerves, but I don't know. Once I got back here, I was like, oh my God, I got to get this cut. But
sorry, I'm just gonna readjust and
when I hey, they don't see you. This is a podcast.
Those ones do. The ones you've been looking at the whole time.
But yeah, now I'm like, golly, I'm glad I got it cut. But so that was Heather 0671 asked that. And then kind of piggybacking off what we just talked about, Pelici, is that how you say it? Pelici? I don't know. 63 asked, how big of a house do you want to buy? We kind of, that was a good segue talking about like, golly, we have a place for everything. And we kind of talked about this, like downsizing. I don't know, like necessarily how big.
Yeah, we didn't say like,
small,
I think we never really, I don't know, I'm really bad spatially. Like people will be like, well, how many square feet is your house? I'm like, I have no idea. Like I would estimate and be like, I don't know, 50 square feet, you know, like how big is that? I have no idea. That's something that I'm just not good at. And so when people were asking that, I was like, I have no idea. But as we've been looking at houses on the market, I've seen amounts of square footage and like kind of compared it to our old house and our new house. And I mean, I don't know. I would say we want the kids to each have a bedroom, us to have a bedroom, and then like an office or like a guest room / office, you know?
In the back of my mind, I'm like, can we just move into our old house? I know people have said that in some of the comments.
Like, it didn't work. It wouldn't work.
Well, not necessarily.
It's something similar.
Similar as far as size, maybe? I don't know.
Well,
but
like at the
layout.
beach house, when we were at the beach house, I was like, I would love a house of this size. Like there were 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then there's a bedroom downstairs that has like the kids' bunk beds and stuff in it, which we didn't even really use. I guess the thing about an office is we more need the office for a place to store our office stuff, like files and equipment and all that, than we need it to like sit down and work, because any time that we've set up an office space for us to work in, we just end up not working there.
Yeah.
Even the old house, you had a desk basically in the den, and you still ended up sitting in the recliner because if you can, why not?
Well, and even in this house, I've had my office downstairs that I was setting up, and then I just felt too far away. Like I was just like, golly, I can't be down here. And so then I literally will move my computer around from the dining room to the kitchen island to the recliner, or, whatever.
And I'm that way too. There's a desk in here in our bedroom. I sit at the island. Like, just kind of depends on where the action is that day and where I feel like I want to sit. And I kind of like that because it helps me like change up my creative juices of, whatever. So, but I don't know, as far as square footage, I would say the ones we've been looking at and the price ranges we've been looking at, they're generally around like 2,000 square feet. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, which is about what our old house was.
That's like, a third of what our house is now. Something like that.
So definitely downsizing. And then, who is this? Rose Black Nightshade. You're going to
spend the whole podcast reading names. Why don't you
just
read the questions?
Do you have an idea of your next house? And will it have a pool? She kind of expanded on the comment there. That would be a wish list item for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we've been looking at some with pools and stuff.
I think we've talked about this some before, how it's kind of a toss-up because we don't really want to have to maintain a pool, but we would also love to have a pool so that we could swim anytime. Even with community pools, like it opens and closes at a certain time. If it's, a certain time of year, it opens and closes. And,
that's so frustrating. Like, you hear like a little bit of thunder, and like being a weather-conscious couple, I would say, you're always on your WeatherBug app, and then I'm on the lifeguard, like, just go out and look and see. And it's like barely thunders, the pool closes, the community pool. And I'm like, if we had our own pool, we could just still be in here for just a little bit longer. Who cares? Mm-hmm. But, so pool would definitely be awesome. Yeah. But if it will have one, I don't know.
For sure.
Let's see, do you want to answer this or go on to the next page?
Let's go to the next page.
Let's go to the next page. Y'all left some awesome questions. Are you still sober? Yes, I'm still sober. And can I just touch on this? Like,
maybe you should address that.
Can I just address this? There was a couple comments on one of the... yes, I'm still sober, by the way, to answer your question. January 13th.
That kind of goes with this question. What's your day-to-day life of sobriety? Like, what's...
Yeah.
That kind of goes with all that. Sorry, so go ahead with what you're saying.
But so... I don't even know. I just kind of wanted to, like, there was a picture I posted of us on date night where you weren't wearing a shirt. And
okay, all the topless and shirtless jokes are because when I have on a camo shirt, Cullen's like, I can't see you where you have on camo because it's a joke. Camo's just to camouflage you. Anyways, y'all getting all crazy like, you're talking about topless women. It's just
respect your wife.
Yeah, I just didn't have on a shirt.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're drinking. I thought you were sober. And so I'm like, I'm having a drink or some drinks with my wife on date night.
Here comes the mosquito guy again. Sorry.
And so I still partake in adult beverages. So like,
but I think it's confusing because when you were talking about it, like you mentioned
abstinence, like cutting out everything.
Well, I think most people, when you say that you're like battling addiction, and a lot of people like it, I think it's different for everybody. This is not even my place to even say, but I'm just saying from what I've heard from different people's stories and different stuff, I feel like the way that you handle you overcoming addiction to whatever you're addicted to is your own decision, and you decide what things are impacting your life and how those need to change. For some people, it's like, I need to stay away from everything. Like if I had a shoe addiction and I told y'all about that, and I was like, I have got to stop buying shoes, and then y'all saw me having a drink, you wouldn't be like, whoa, why are you drinking? You're addicted to shoes. So I think dealing with...
and same like with the, there's like the AA meeting. I went to a couple of those, but like they just weren't for me. And I've heard that like, if you're, or the NA meetings. And so it was just kind of like, some people decide to do those full out, the 90 days, 90 whatever program, and go through everything step by step. And then with all the resources out there on the internet and all the podcasts and everything else, I've like been able to, especially with everything else going on in life, been able to like pinpoint what I want to be focused on that day and listen to it. And so, it's just kind of what fits your lifestyle to make it better.
And I think in the beginning though, you talked about how alcohol had been a problem. Like we had gotten to both of us. I've seen comments of like, well, you said Katie had a problem too, or whatever. I think we had both gotten to a point where we were drinking more than we wanted to, or not. That's not the way to say it. We were drinking more than we needed to. Like it was, we had gotten like unhealthy with it. You know, it was an unhealthy frequency and all of that. And I think we were using that as a coping mechanism for dealing with a lot of the underlying problems, not just addiction stuff, but like me and all the things that I've realized in the past year that have been going on that I didn't realize were my issues and like my stuff that I was dealing with mentally. So we were kind of like using that as a coping mechanism and then basically trying to just keep it under wraps and under control.
Is there somebody at our front door?
Probably so.
Dogs are going crazy.
Yeah, it's the mosquito guy. He's probably out there. So should I check on that or?
This is a podcast.
This is what happens when you
way
work
life
from
goes. I'll keep
home
answering questions if you want to check on that.
Yeah, let me just go check.
What cat litter do you use? This is perfect for me to answer because I'm the only one, not really, but I'm the one that changes the cat litter the most. And that was a kind of a deal that we made whenever we decided to keep Whitaker. We kind of talked about this before, was that you're going to change the cat litter for 2 cats if you want to have this other cat. So, but it's the Fresh Step. Nothing else works better than I've seen. And y'all let me know about this because I'm interested about this. Katie actually sent me a video about this lady that uses, it was like going around on YouTube all recommended and stuff, but it was a video of a lady that uses like a sifting basket type method, and then she was using pine, like the little things you'd use in a Traeger grill, like the pine wood or the little pellets, the wood pellets, and supposedly those work absolute wonders and save you like a fraction of the cost per year. Like you can go to your local farming harvesting store or something and get like a huge bag of them for like $5 or something, versus cat litter gets expensive. And I honestly don't change it out as often as I should, but I've gotten better about that since we've been Marie Kondoing. So there you go. There's the do you want more kids question. We're just going to skip over that.
Oh my gosh. I'm back. Mosquito guy, we're good.
How does Cullen feel about
eating gray hair?
I think they meant having gray hair.
Getting. Look, she corrected herself.
Oh, getting gray hair. At first I thought she was being perverted. I was like, what you talking about, girl? But I don't know. It just depends. Every time I go get my hair cut, I'd make the joke of, she's like, what do you want? I get a 3 on the sides. And I said, every time I see it falling down on my shirt, I'm like, get rid of some of that gray hair for me. And she even said, she's like, it's natural highlights, sweetie. It's just natural highlights. And so, I don't know. Some people like it. Some people don't. And when I've actually just fermented it, so you can't even really see it now.
And I like the just ferment that you use too, because it doesn't like just totally black out your hair. Like it turns the grays into like just a lighter brown.
Yeah.
So it's not like you totally look like you dye your hair or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I had a choice, I like it not.
You don't like the gray?
Not as gray. No. It just doesn't feel like you to me.
Really?
I don't know. I don't hate it.
It's like putting on makeup. It's like it's not the real me though. I mean, you're the real you, but you know what I mean?
I like you to be the person I originally knew. No, I don't dislike it. I just feel like you're such a young person at heart. It's just weird to look at you and see gray hair. I'm like, who's this guy?
And then I got like the gray chest hair coming in. It's coming like in my beard. I'm getting gray. My dad was already white at this point with his hair. What is the best moment you guys have had being parents? God, there's too many to name. I couldn't even,
how do you even name that?
I just love seeing all the 1 year ago, 2 year ago videos and just being like, golly, I forgot about that moment. That was the best moment ever. And then the next one will come up and I'll be like, golly, that one was.
I think it's kind of like the stereotypical, like when you see your kids crawl or walk or whatever for the first time and you have those moments of like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Like you learned a new thing or, they say your name or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we're just going to skip all these kid questions.
Welcome to my videos. This is my entire live streams. How many more kids are you having? How many more kids are you having?
We kind of touched on this on one of the podcasts, like the business behind YouTube and stuff. I wouldn't say YouTube is our only.
Wait, you gotta tell what the question
source
is.
of. I'm sorry.
YouTube
Is
your
YouTube?
source?
I'm acting like y'all can see. Is YouTube your only source of income? No, and I would think that would be kind of a dumb thing to do. Like,
well, I think maybe
if it was.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they kind of mean like is all the
social
media. So I think
Yeah.
when we read that, we're like, no, YouTube is definitely not. Like we do Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and we
Yeah.
sell merch and we, do brand deals and all that. So it's
Yeah.
not. But I mean, as far as the social media, like the podcast, the blogs, the social media presence,
Yeah.
that's our main source of income. But
Yeah.
it's not
No,
just YouTube. And
which is kind of crazy though too, because it used to be like it was like what?
I think
You
that's
can't
the
make
hard
money on
part
Instagram or
of the
Facebook.
job right now. Or not the hard part, but I mentioned this in the podcast we did with Ellie and Jared and Brian and Missy, is that hey babe, our kid just came in, one of them. When we first started out, it was YouTube, and it was just YouTube, and now it's Instagram and Twitter and, doing brand stuff and all that. So
Where'd you get that candy?
this is our daughter Gaines, who just came in, and she's she's 4.5, and she just woke up from her nap. So
She got a candy.
she's
Mommy
staying down.
has you some
I got
stuff
you some
over
stuff
there
over
to
here to do. Oh.
do. What would you do if one of your kids had special needs? This is an interesting question because I used to actually be a special needs assistant back in high school. Like one of my classes or whatever, I think was, I don't even know the actual technical term about this, but I just was always fascinated with helping others, I guess, and just fell in love with every one of the kids in there. And even to this day, I'll still see some of them at the supermarket or like at church and stuff, and just seeing how much they've grown has been crazy. So we would just take it day by day, stride by stride, and make it work the best to our ability and theirs. But
I always think that's an interesting question when I've seen it, because I'm like, what would we do? Well, I mean, what do you mean, what would we do? Like, we would do what they need and make sure they have the therapy they need.
You get completely different treatment. No.
I don't know. I just think that's an interesting question, because like you said, we take it day by day and make sure that they have what they need. I mean, what...
It's crazy. Even on I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but like for my senior year of high school or junior year, I can't remember which one, the girl I'd been talking to or whatever, dating, we ended up breaking up, so I didn't have a date to prom necessarily at that time, like an official one, and I literally asked one of the girls in the special needs classes if they would go to me, and she had to go home and check with her mom, and then she came back the next day and said that her mom said it would be past her bedtime and that kind of thing. But anyway, so just there's that love and everything there for that. When will y'all be doing another DBJ? We talked about doing one sooner than later last time we were together.
You gotta read the whole question. They don't know what the question is.
When are y'all doing another DBEJCK summer vacay? If y'all are new to the podcast and don't know what that means, that's a Daily Bumps, Ellie and Jared, Cullen and Katie, summer vacay. They were on the podcast actually.
Yeah, they were last time we had a summer vacay. So since summer's over, if we have another one, it would be like not summer. It would be fall or winter or something. But we actually talked about doing another one this summer. We just had, because we had so much fun together. We were like, oh my God, we need to do this again. And we didn't. Everybody got busy. Lots of stuff going on. So.
KK Lumami. Don't need like details or anything, but how are y'all doing lately? Are things, and then it cuts off on my screenshot, but I think I got it on the next one. I think it's probably going to say something like, are things
getting better in daily life?
I would say yes. I mean, we still have our daily arguments, not daily, but our arguments here and there and stuff like that.
I would say yes, for sure. I think you're like, wait, let me put my hand on your leg for this
I'm going to give you some physical touch before you blast me real quick.
Hey. No, I think that things are definitely better. I think in terms of better, I would say things are like feel a little bit more normal-ish. Like, I mean, what is normal, right? But it's just not, there's just not as much tension. And I think in all of the stuff that we've learned from going to therapy or listening to different books or podcasts or like YouTube videos, and we really dived deeply into, what is it, dived or dove? Whatever it is. We've really gotten deep into trying to understand a lot of issues that we have personally and just things that have impacted us throughout our life. And the more that we've talked about those with each other, we have like deep conversations with each other all the time.
Yeah, we'll like send each other links and be like, you got to watch this.
And then we'll talk for like 2 hours about it. And the more that we've talked about that stuff, I think the more we've gained an understanding and respect of each other's like situations and the things that drive each other crazy about each other. And it's made it so that I can not get so pissed off because of about certain things, or you know being understanding. And I think as far as you being more present and aware, and like we've been working together better as a team, like when we were getting the house ready to sell, there were so many times that I was like, we would go the whole morning doing the different things we needed to do while we were getting the house staged for like, you know, an open house or whatever. And then we wouldn't really have hardly talked to each other. And I would just be like, okay, well, I know he's going to take care of that. And then everything just miraculously got done. And we didn't even really talk about it. We both just kind of knew.
It's crazy.
And worked together and supported each other. And I would pick up something you forgot, or you'd pick up something I forgot, or I don't know.
Yeah, so things are better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was now. I think blocking out a lot of the negative, like the having to approve. We have our comments to be approved now, and I think that that doesn't have anything to do with us personally, but I guess it does in a sense. But it's just like blocking out the negativity is so much easier too now. It used to be like, oh God, we'd read these comments that just came in and we didn't check comments for like a day, and then you start thinking about something that you were already over, but it would bring up a whole emotion, and now it's just like, see ya.
Or just kind of even allowing the negativity into our comments. Like, I think before, when every comment came through, if there was something that was negative, we would be like, well, we don't want to just delete it because they aren't saying something nice. Like, we can just leave it. They have an opinion too. They can have an opinion. But then
feed off
the more that we've learned in life, it's like, I don't want to surround myself with any negativity. So, it goes for life and interaction with other people and comments. Like, if you have something rude to say, you're more than welcome to have your opinion, but I don't have to accept that. And in one of Rachel Hollis's books, she talks about how their family rule in their house is be nice or get out. Like, if you're going to come in and be rude and put me down or put my kids down or insult me, then I don't support that. That's not what we want to be around. And so I think it's been something we've talked about lately is responding instead of reacting. So, if somebody does say something negative to you, or there's a negative comment,
we check each other. You check me a lot on that. You're like, whoa, hang on, you're gonna react to that instead of just answer the question and don't let it affect you. That's been those are the type of things that we'll do.
Don't internalize it.
Yeah, you'd be like, you bring the awareness, or we bring each other the awareness of remember, respond, don't react, or.
And being able to do that respectfully with each other, I think because we've been able to tune it out. The comments in our comment section before, we were just like, well, I just don't let those get to me, or I just whatever. But if you even leave them, then it breeds more negativity and it allows more people to, if you want to have a negative opinion of us, then you can just have that. But I don't want to, it's rude to.
It's not like there's a lot. I mean, but those ones, it's always the saying, you could have 100 good comments and then the one bad one will ruin your day. And then the one bad one will have 100 thumbs ups, because it just creates this train, and people are just riding on the train with them and that kind of stuff. So, and then you're just like, okay, why do we even let that comment fly? But yeah, no, it's been. I
think, too, great. We've gotten questions of do you think some of these issues, or I've had people ask me, do I think some of the issues that I've talked about of people pleasing and worrying about what people think and all this stuff has come from being on YouTube and reading those comments and hearing the negativity. And as much as I want to say no, I'm but I think there was a time period where we were reading so much negative stuff, or like just we would take to heart the one negative comment, and then I would start to think like, oh, they're right, you are like weird and annoying, you know. And it's like, despite the 99 other comments, that one that said that, like, oh, they're the ones telling the truth, and then I let that get in my head and like
that's what
absorb
I mean.
it.
I like that. Be nice or get out. That's kind of like the whole take a polite bite. Is that Rachel Hollis or Jordan Page?
Jordan Page. Take a polite
bite when you're eating dinner.
I could be wrong on be kind or get out. I didn't misquote that. She might have said something a little bit nicer, but it's something like that. But yeah, the polite
You've been
bite.
listening to Rachel Hollis lately.
I did.
The latest one, right?
I just finished it today.
That goes back to another question we had
Girl,
earlier.
stop apologizing.
Are you all still working out, and how often? You started walking again this morning, and I think it goes back to that whole schedule thing, like getting back into a routine. Because I was on a workout regiment there, trying to get sober there in the beginning, just to get my mind off everything, and then I kind of fell off the wagon as far as that goes. Not the sobriety, but the gym stuff. But you started this morning, and so that's when you were listening to Girl Stop Apologizing?
Yeah, I've been listening to that and just realized like how much I miss listening to her. Rachel Hollis and her husband do like a live morning show or whatever every morning, but they haven't done it this summer either because they've been kind of off their schedule, but they're starting back. But just listening to it, I'm definitely about to go restart it and listen to it again, which I did with her first book. It's just very eye-opening for somebody like me and the things that I've been dealing with.
And her husband's coming out with a book.
Yeah, in March.
That one I want to listen to. Like, that's smart for them to like get both chromosomes. The male and the female blood flowing as far as that goes, because he got me all intrigued with what he was saying. Okay, next question. Best advice for raising a very active toddler boy. Mine is hype all the time. Well, get him a swing.
That was a good response. I was like, I don't know. I got nothing.
Well, like that. I don't know if y'all happen to watch the birthday vlog. We found this. Well, prior to that, you found a sensory swing, and we're using that for a little while because you can just tell when Brooks is starting to get hype. He just needs to get his vestibular aggression or emotion.
Yeah, if you have no idea what we're talking about, we're like a swing, what? Okay. But like, okay, so apparently some kids who are extremely hyperactive, he's not just hyperactive, like he just runs around a lot or whatever. He like literally can't control his body sometimes. Like he'll just fall all over everything and be just like jumping around and major impulse control. Like sometimes we get mad at him and like I can tell he just literally could not stop himself from smacking that person upside the face, you know?
Yes.
But it's like supposedly there's something in your brain that is calmed down by like vestibular stimulation, so swinging, or for some kids it's like jumping in a trampoline or swimming. Water.
He like asked for a bath this morning. You're like, okay, get in the bath.
Yeah, that'll help calm you down.
Water is amazing. Like it's in his name, Brooks.
Brooks. But if you look into it, vestibular stimulation for hyperactivity and impulsivity, you'll find a lot of information on that and see if it is relevant to your kid. Not relevant to everybody. It is something that's popular for kids with autism as well, which Brooks does not have autism, but does have some hyperactivity and impulsivity.
You even said the other morning, you're like, I wonder what you were like at his age. Because, I mean, he was just like running through the halls and like just being crazy, and he's gotten to where I'm just kidding. Like he's already got like a sense of humor, like or joking, you know, and like talks back. He's stubborn. Yeah, I'm just like golly. What?
Just like you.
He is just like
just
me.
Like you.
But he's learning. He's learning. It's just time. The swing downstairs we hooked up in the basement goes a lot. It's got more of a arc to it, the distance from point A to point B, and he loves that thing. Like freaking wants to go higher and higher, just like he did on the slide.
Well, like your stomach flipping feeling. Some people love that, and for some people that actually like calms them down to get that stimulation and that feeling. It's like what did that one guy that I was listening to describe it as?
Adrenaline junkie. Yeah, that was another video you sent me.
Oh my gosh, what was it called? Proprioception or something like that, where you literally feel like your skin is bothering you. Like you just feel like you're not comfortable in your skin, and if you can do some, people recommended like heavy work, which is like pushing something
stuff,
heavy or lifting something or throwing a really, really, really heavy ball. It gets your muscles in a different state that helps you relax.
And there's literally like every morning these past couple of weeks, he's like asking us to go outside and throw the baseball with him or the football. Like, he just wants to go there and throw a ball or jump on the trampoline or do something like that. And then there was one morning he actually turned off the kitchen lights, and I kind of got upset with him because I was like in the middle of
quit messing around.
Yeah, like we're trying to get out the door, but he said it was too bright. And that was one of the things this guy talked about too, was they don't know how to express, especially at a young age, their disposition in their head or whatever, the way that they're feeling, but they just know that sometimes the lights may be too bright and that's just making their head spin and go crazy, and so they just take off running and they're crazy and hyper. And then you get mad at them, but they don't know why. But so that morning we started thinking back on it. We're like, he did turn off the kitchen lights for no reason and said it was too bright. Like maybe he was like trying to tell us that he was wanting to calm himself down but didn't know how to say it, you know. So there's those little cues, natural cues that you could pick up on.
Which he hasn't had any type of assessment, but for those of y'all that are familiar with it, I'm sure you're like, sensory processing disorder, which I'm pretty sure he probably has sensory processing disorder, but he has not had an assessment or anything. But that is on the list because it does kind of cause some trouble at school. Like
You're like, well, he's going back to the pediatrician. I've got a list to ask him.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's like I did this for my job. I did assessments for kids for ADHD and autism and all that stuff when I was working my full-time job as a clinical child psychologist. But it's obviously your own kid and you can't assess your own kid, but there's a lot of stuff that you can know is like, yes, this is this, or no, this is not this. But I think it's definitely on our radar of something to get him an occupational therapy assessment. So that we can have some suggestions to tell to teachers at school, because like this summer in summer school, he had a teacher just for 6 weeks, and she was like, are there things you do at home to like help him contain himself when he gets like super like hyperactive, or when he gets to where he's wanting to like throw things, or, you know, he's not like intentionally mean, I don't think. Like I said earlier, smack somebody upside the face, but he doesn't do it. Like he doesn't go up to people and just hit them like to be mean.
Not out of like anger or like.
He'll just like throw something, or you know, like be playing and just be like, "Oh yeah, boom!" and push somebody over and laugh.
Well, and after you get him out of the swing some mornings, he'll come back up and you're like, "Don't hype him back up," because his motion and his body's all calmed down, and like literally, he looks like he just got off of a adrenaline ride at Six Flags, and he's just like.
He's usually like, I want you to hold me, and he just
it's just like I needed that.
Yeah,
like, golly, yeah. So we could talk about that forever. Yeah, really
helps him calm down.
That's what we should name the swing downstairs.
Oh my god!
Go get your Xanax, son. This is kind of relevant to what we were talking about earlier. What color do you have on your walls getting my house ready to paint? I can tell you that from all the touch-ups we've done, but Katie's probably got that in the back of her.
The one that everybody always asks about that we did at our old house when we were getting ready to sell was Revere Pewter. It's HC 172. They can mix it up for you anywhere, but it's a Sherwin-Williams paint. In our current house now, we have Revere Pewter in like the kitchen and the hallways and stuff. This bedroom that we're in right now is requisite gray, and that's what color our den is. And then our newly renovated bathroom is passive gray. So those are all great colors. Revere Pewter is a little more of it's like a beigey gray. And then
bougie
gray.
Bougie
and
beigey.
Then requisite gray is a little bit more of like a bluish green gray. So depending on what you're looking for.
Okay, next question. One thing the kids have done so bad that you didn't tell Katie. Well, there was this one time that we were in Walmart and Brooks had to go to the bathroom. I'm just kidding. No, I don't think
we're at that point yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, we haven't. It either comes out later in like a story of like, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you this, or we'll be talking about it in the vlog or something. Like, we haven't really.
I will say that there have been some times where like we will be in the house and I'll know that you just told him not to do something, and he won't know that I saw him do it after you told him, and I'm just not in the mood to be disciplining, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna act like I didn't see that and not say anything about it. But I mean, like a random thing.
Next question. What is your favorite thing to do when the kids are not around? Right now, currently, mine is to play word skates.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't gotten that. Oh, by the way, I haven't told you. I just bought it. I got rid of the ads. $2.99. I got rid of the ads. And she made a point yesterday. We went out to lunch.
$2.99.
We went out to lunch, and I was just like, she said, it's just crazy. We'll pay $10 for parking somewhere, but not $2.99 for an app that you've literally been playing for the past like 2 weeks nonstop, suffering through these ads.
Or you'll pay $1.50 for extra bacon on your sandwich. At Jimmy John's.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a good way to look at it.
I just thought of it just now. Or like you didn't get sweet tea at the restaurant yesterday, and you usually do.
Yeah,
and so you didn't do that.
And so today I finally was just like, oh my God, I just got to get through this.
Wait, so does that mean that I get to have
That's
them
what
too?
I'm wondering.
I think it does.
I don't know if you signed up.
Because we share an Apple ID.
Yeah, so you can like
we just
restore
never
purchase.
Got our ends.
Now you can get on with it. I'm killing her, by the way, in this app.
Yeah, he is. If you play Wordscapes, I'm on like 157 and Cullen's on probably 400 now.
357, I think.
So I don't play it as much as he does.
It's like my calming. My Xanax.
You've always gotten into games. Like I remember back when we were in college, and what was that game called? And it was on the computer. And I remember you would like call me and be like, "Crap, I just got stuck in the library. I'm late for class because I started playing this game." And it went in a circle.
The bubble spinner, bubble blaster.
And you had to like shoot a thing at these bubbles before it filled all the way up.
Yeah.
And it was like super addictive. But this was before we even had games on our cell phones. Like we played it on the computer.
I would sit there and be late to class because I wanted to just keep this bubble blasting game
You're
going.
like, I can't end it. So this would have been like 2004 probably.
You had to get like 4 or 5 bubbles in a row.
That was 15 years ago.
The little thing was going in like a spiral, and you had to shoot it right when it was coming around and get it just right, or else you would add on to the snake essentially and make it larger and larger and larger. And like, I'm so competitive, so whenever she would text me her score, I'd be like, okay, I gotta beat that.
As far as my favorite thing to do when the kids aren't around is just to like have a thought uninterrupted, honestly. Like,
yes,
if the kids aren't here, we will most likely just sit and talk to each other without being interrupted, or play a game on our phones, or I usually really enjoy cleaning stuff without being interrupted too. Folding laundry.
Yes, folding laundry. I like to put in my AirPods, put in a podcast, or put on a show, and then I've gotten into these Netflix. Let's storm Area 51, by the way.
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
There's like a campaign, or we're going to storm Area 51 and see where the alien's at.
Okay, let's go.
I've gotten into all that kind of stuff. The older I've gotten, and like just thinking about how small we are in this world and stuff like that, golly.
I do like to put in my AirPods and listen to a book or a podcast or whatever. If you don't have AirPods, put that on your Christmas list, because seriously, it's life changing.
Yes.
And I was always like, I don't have time to read books. But now that when the kids go to bed, or you're like packing lunches or cleaning up the kitchen or folding laundry, put your AirPods in, you can leave your phone over here and just listen. It's amazing. Life changing. And that's how my life changed.
It's funny because you honestly. And me we'll like get on a book or a podcast or something, and literally we'll have our AirPods in the same room, listen to 2 separate things, and just know that we love each other and not talk. Because we're wanting to just, I can't talk anymore.
But we're obviously very talkative people, and we still interrupt each other. I'm like, hey, hang on, pause that. Let me tell you. I just heard this. This is so good.
Let's see. These questions, some of y'all are crazy.
With y'all's inappropriate questions. I don't want to talk about that.
Is marriage what you thought it would be before y'all got married?
I'm
gonna go grab the other camera because this one's done. Go ahead and answer that question, Tits.
I would say, to be honest, marriage in the beginning before having kids was pretty much what I thought it would be. I think having kids was not what I thought it would be. We have one over here, making sure she's not listening. She got her headphones on, and I don't think she can hear me, or she's not listening to me. But I think from the beginning, everybody was like, having kids is so hard. It's like one of the hardest things ever, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember just being like, okay, I totally expect that. In the first year of our first child's life, I was like, this is not hard. Like, what are people talking about? And then I began realizing, like, parenting is hard, but marriage while having young children is hard. Like, that's the hard part that it wasn't what I expected. Like, when I thought of people saying having kids is hard, I thought like, oh, you got to deal with the tantrums, and they're going to poop on you, and they're, whatever else. But I just didn't think about how it would necessarily change not just the way that we don't have time to spend with each other, but the fact that we weren't going to be able to have a full conversation without being interrupted, and the fact that we weren't going to be able to just, I don't know, like you just
every single day.
I feel like it definitely impacted us in our marriage more than a lot of things have. Obviously wouldn't change anything for the world, but I think that's something that I wasn't prepared for, is just the fact that, I don't know, it changes your marriage. I can't really even explain what I'm going to say, because I feel like when we first had our kid, we even tried to explain this to people, like how we were able to like keep the romance alive or whatever, and it's not even that. Like, it's more just your interaction with each other and the way that you feel so strongly about the way you're parenting your kids, that when the other person does something differently or doesn't agree with you, then it's hard to...
That kind of goes back to the other subject we were talking about, like sending each other videos of like different things and being on the same page. Like, we've kind of grown together too, as far as that. As far as being on the same page about that kind of stuff, about the way you respond. And, because I was always like, well, that's not working, so I'm going to do it my way. And then, I don't know. I think we've kind of gotten better about meshing that kind of stuff.
Well, and I
versus
think
just being stern about my way or your way.
Yeah, being understanding of each other. But I think too, when you have two young kids, which our kids, it feels like at this point that we've had kids forever, and we totally haven't. Like, they're or they're 3 and 4, almost 5. And when they're that young, there's so much. They're so demanding because they're little and they can't do stuff for themselves. And I think you don't realize how much that will impact, like, not just your relationship with each other, but like your friendships, and how like your marriage kind of thrived on interacting with other couples and being around other people. And when you're not doing that as much, because it's hard with bedtimes and schedules and school and sickness and whatever else.
It's all a learning process.
It all goes together.
Like,
so.
Every stage is. And like, I'll hear these people talking about their kids going to middle school and high school and all this stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, it never ends, as far as like you're always a parent. Like, like, it's just like, I don't know how my parents did it. This is all I'm saying.
Well, we were talking about the other day, I was like, it makes me, seeing people with their kids, like leaving their kids at college or their kids going to high school, I'm like, okay, I can totally handle the meltdowns over the wrong color cup right now, because I'd rather be dealing with that than dealing with the fact that you got caught like with some drugs, or with you got a speeding ticket, or you whatever.
One of my old diving coaches posted his daughter at setting up her dorm room with her dorm mate or whatever, and it's just like, especially with the way technology used to be, we didn't have cell phones and stuff, but it's like, okay, what are you going to do when the parents leave?
I thought, my first thought was like, oh, look how cute her dorm room is, and like her parents are about to leave and now she can just do whatever she wants to. And then I was like, oh crap, her parents are about to leave and she can do whatever she wants to. How am I going to ever do this? Like, what the heck? My kid's going to just be free?
Yes. Like,
no.
What? Back it up, Terry.
Oh my gosh. So,
If y'all are looking at the screen and you're wondering what's flashing, I had to switch cameras because that battery's dying. So just, if it's bothering you, just close your eyes and listen to the rest from here on out. But before you do, going back to that other question about AirPods, these were another clutch item. These are kind of like AirPods. They're on a fire. I think they were like some Instagram sponsored thing got me. But I will say, like, if you're around loud stuff like the pressure washer or something, these actually like have this little suction type. AirPods are meant to like be sociable, like while you're still listening, you can kind of hear stuff around you. These like cancel out all the noise. Like, I can't hear jack when I have these in. So
you've been hiding those from me. I need that.
Yes, but that's,
Tune it out.
Yeah, but don't listen to like murder mysteries and stuff with those on, because then when you come tapping me on the shoulder, I'm like, what? Oh God!
That's happened a few times. I'm like, calm down, it's just me.
I get into those crime podcasts too. The Nick Morrow asked, "Do you remember Mr. Twisty?"
I don't know if I want to know what that means.
I remember Mr. Twisty. He was a good friend of mine. Still is.
I just really know what y'all are talking about, and that's really just, y'all are crazy.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Answer a few more here. Are you guys thinking about moving by the beach? Yeah, we kind of talked about that in the past couple of videos over on Cullen and Katie. Go check it out.
Okay, a very short answer to, because we've talked a lot about this, but what saved your marriage? Because people ask, like, what do I do? My husband is out of control, blah, blah. What saved your marriage? I would say the short, quick answer to that is working on ourselves. Like, done. Work on yourself.
Yes. Like, you can't fix anybody else.
No.
Like, no.
And you don't think, I promise, you don't think you are doing anything wrong and you don't have any problems, but you do.
We all got problems.
If you have problems in your marriage, there's something that you can do to change yourself to help the situation, even if the other person is doing something that's not right. You still work on yourself. That's what saved our marriage, honestly.
And I would say, like, that's another question. What's your favorite quality about each other? That's one of my best favorite qualities about you is, like, you have the ability to recognize that.
Thanks.
Being able to work on yourself. And
that's only been a recent thing.
I know. And that's, like, one of my favorite qualities recently of you.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, you're welcome. Is Cullen willing to get a vasectomy so Katie can get off birth control? Yes. Snip, snap, snap.
Can you please schedule that? Every like once a week at least we have this conversation. You gonna schedule that?
Yeah, totally. But I mean, we got scissors in the kitchen, and we've been trying to sell a house. So it's like, if I get snipped, then I'm not gonna be able to move anything for 2 months, and so I don't want to have to do that.
It's a 2-day recovery process, my dear. It is a 2-day. What's my favorite quality about you? I didn't say that. You always smell good. That's not the only thing. But, like, seriously, he's one of those people that can have been working in the yard all day, and you, like, get close to him, and you're like, why do you still smell good?
And I think I reek. Like, I think I smell like BO.
But, like, you did shower today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But your arm, like, his arms just smell really good right now.
I've got it's that pheromone.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. I'm like a Venus flytrap. I just...
But I think my favorite quality about you in general, overall, is like your ability to, as much as it drives me crazy, it's kind of my favorite thing, is to not take things too seriously. Like, just to have fun with stuff. Like, it just makes me happy when you, like, will just be funny and silly or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, I feel like, especially...
Not inappropriate, but
funny
and silly.
I think it's been easier to do as of recently, too, because even, like, a lot of y'all on the main channel have said, oh, Cullen's being his normal self again. But, like, back in the day, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'm growing up, Mommy. So thank you.
Well, I think when things were so tense and uptight in general, it was hard to want to be fun and silly and have a good time. Because things were tense and uptight and, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. This has been a good podcast so far. Y'all are learning lots about us. Hope
we
y'all
gotta
are
wrap this up
enjoying
soon.
this.
This is long.
Y'all are awesome. Let's see if there's one more question we can ask. Let's see. These are all like, there's so many redundant ones about the house and about addiction and all that kind of stuff. Hey, there's a good one to end on. And then, how are y'all doing? Like, seriously, the real shiz, relationship-wise, individually.
we just answered that one.
On DDs. Would you consider moving to Chelsea, Alabama? We'll consider anything. The sky is the limit at this point.
Actually, no, though.
Well, not
because
at this
Chelsea's
point.
down 280.
No,
and
yeah,
you would have
true.
to pay me to live out there.
That's
like,
true.
it's a beautiful area. And I probably shouldn't say that because watch, we're going to end up there. But I just don't handle traffic well. And I feel like I'm wasting so much time sitting in traffic. In that area, you have to go through traffic to get to it. So, yeah.
Y'all should talk about how you're done having kids so people will stop asking. That's true.
Girl, we've been talking about that for like a year, but yeah.
Okay, and the final question is from Britany Swanson. What is your favorite candy?
What's not my favorite candy? We love candy. We have a candy cabinet.
We have a candy moving box.
Yeah.
Full of candy in the moving box.
If you were to go to the store right now, though, if I was to go to the store right now and get to pick one thing out, though, I would probably right now buy Skittles. Skittles has always been a favorite for the sweet, and then Reese's is my favorite chocolate candy.
I was about to say
or M&M's.
Reese's. It used to be...
I'm pretty straightforward.
Snickers for me, and then you got me converted over to Reese's. And now, have y'all seen these little Reese's dark chocolate thins? Oh my
I
gosh,
hate
she
dark
doesn't
chocolate.
like dark chocolate, but these are amazing. The chocolate to peanut butter ratio is amazing. It's like a little Reese's peanut butter chip. Oh, it's so amazing. But yeah, so I'd say Reese's, and then sweets or
I know what yours
anything
is.
like the sweet and sour snakes.
Trolley stuff. Anything
Yeah,
trolley.
anything trolley is good, but I'm not that picky when it comes to candy.
Twizzlers are always like in the past, we always had a bag of Twizzlers at our house.
Which I don't know
times.
why. Like I've had them recently, and I'm just like, yeah, they don't do it for me.
I don't know. I think it was just like a good, like not too sweet, but just a good little, and it's like chewy. You know,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
that. Not red vines; those are gross.
I don't know.
Start a debate in the comments
I like
about that.
I like that though.
But yeah, so I don't know. Skittles, M&M's, Reese's.
Yes.
I'm basic old school.
Oh, well, let's pass the question off to y'all. What is your favorite candy? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to get that merch. There is a little merch bar on YouTube if you're looking right there underneath where you can go through and kind of scroll through and see everything. Get you some Don't Tell Mom merch. Go over and check out Katie on the flip side. Go over and check out Cullen and Katie. Go over and check out Britany and Corey over on the Southern Fried Maple Leaves. Did that light just turn off, or did it turn off earlier? That was weird.
It's off now.
See, we gotta get out of this house.
That candle?
The candle maybe set it off? I don't know.
It's not the house. It's probably burned out.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this special edition, episode 60, with me and the better half, Katie on the flip side, KatiePie07. Where can they find you?
Instagram, KatiePie07 is my favorite platform. I'm
Twitter
there all the
is where
time.
it's at.
Twitter, I'm KatiePie7. Hadn't gotten all that jacked up stuff figured
Everybody
out yet. But
tweet Instagram and tell them to get me music on my freaking stories.
Yep,
So annoying.
Yep. Get that figured out.
Anyway, go follow her, give her some love, show her some love, and then we'll be back next week, probably on the weekend for episode 61, and it should be the duo, brother and sister, back at it again. And then we got some fun guests coming up. I can't wait to let y'all in on that. Thanks for watching. Don't tell Mom.
Bye. Thanks for
No,
having
you
me.
say peace.
Peace. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Catch you on the flip side.
Bye. Peace out.